Hello, welcome to my video demonstration. The first part of this is you want to go to your gateway IP.com. If you don't know, you just go to the Unifi OS website, then go to network, and then you can see here that's your gateway IP, and you'll need that for later. Now you need to make an SSH. I already have an SSH, so you just put in a password, and then you type in SSH root at 192.168.1.1, which was a gateway IP, and it'll usually always be root if you haven't changed it already. And now you can just type in ifconfig, and that'll show your switches, and that'll show your Ethernet ports. And we're right now looking for our gateway IP, and I see it right here. Here's our gateway IP, and it's under BR0. So now that we know that, we can just exit. And then we want to name a new file. And I already have it made, but you can just copy if you're doing this as well. Now, you first want to SSH into that server, then you want to do port 22, and then in quotation marks, tcpdump -I br0-w not port 22, because we don't want to see the traffic from port 22, because then it will just show us data of the switch going to our computer, and we don't want to see that just from that port alone. So we don't want to see that. We can still see the data from our computer, but we just do not see that port. Sudo Wireshark and then -k-I. We need those, and now we can just /ws.sh. We start it. Type in our sudo password, and then we have this launched. And now it is showing us all our TCP data and everything that's going on our server. It won't show just TCP, it'll show UDP, HTML, or HTTP, HTTPS. It'll show everything. But it's called a TCP dump. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So, whatever. And now that we're in here, we heard from our ISP that someone was BitTorrenting on our server. And in this building, that is not allowed. These are work servers, so we filter by those ports. And while it loads, these are only a couple, we will talk about what these ports do. So the 6881, 6882 from the TCP and UDP are common ports that are used by BitTorrent and uTorrent or any torrent to torrent to your computer. They're peer-to-peer port, and that's about it. But now we can go in here and we can see that there is some peer-to-peer action on this here computer. So now we can go back into our Unifi network, and then we can see which computer is doing it. And we see PC, and there's the there's the address. So we know it is coming from inside the building and on one of our devices. So now we are going to go see what they're torrenting. Now you don't need to do this. You can just fire the employee already. Not really. I hope you don't just fire someone from torrenting, but you know, it is on your server and you don't want that to happen. So now we don't know their password. You may have a list of their password, but let's just say you don't know their password because they're using Windows. So we want to go into Crowbar. And what is Crowbar? Crowbar is a program that will test the RDP. It's a brute force for RDP. And we know these are we know we have our RDP open because our employees use RDP outside of home. So now we can just type in our password for Cali, and this is what we're going to use. So while it did it, it wasn't supposed to go that fast, but I'm just going to explain anyways. -U, the capital U is for word list. If you know the username, you just use the lowercase u, and then you can type in the username. And if you know the password, you can just do -C password. But if you know both, you don't need to use this. If you don't know one of them, you can use this. And these are word lists that are pre-made. If you don't have pre-made word lists, we know all our employees' usernames. We do not know the passwords. So this is just a ROCU file, similar file, just shorter, so faster. And you can just type in word lists. And then bam, you can grab one of these and you can paste it into there, so on and so forth. And now we know this, so we can use a program called xFreeRDP here in Kali. Kali has this built in, so we don't need to do anything else. And that will log us, that'll RDP us into our computer, if it is on, of course, which ours are running 24/7. So we can RDP into that, or you can just do it off your server, but it's easier to just do it here. And now let's say, because it's this computer, I don't want to RDP in it. It'll just shut down the computer and then reset it. So let's say now we're in it, because that command works. I can just go to the download files and see, oh yes, they did download a BitTorrent URL, and they have BitTorrent installed on their server. So now that we see, I would just click it and see the names. It's Popeye for president, and that is done. Thank you.